Last trading week was short as the major stock exchanges were closed on Good Friday, so the markets maintained the trend they developed on Thursday. Investors are still pricing in the possibility of tougher measures by the US Federal Reserve as the regulator is trying to cap soaring prices. The report on the Consumer Price Index published last week showed that inflation in the United States has accelerated to 8.5% from a year ago, its highest rate in the past 4 decades. Learn more about how this news has affected the US dollar and other currencies, as well as the crypto and the commodities markets in our video review on InstaForex TV channel. Supported by the record high inflation rate, the US dollar index, which measures its value against the basket of 6 major currencies, hit a 2-year high above the mark of 100.70. Along with the US dollar, the Treasury yield curve also rose. Strong speculative activity against the euro sent the single European currency to its lowest level in the past 23 months. This was partly caused by the unwillingness of the European Central Bank to take a more hawkish stance on its monetary policy. Markets expect the ECB to raise the rate by about 60 basis points by the end of the year. But to start monetary tightening, the regulator first has to cancel the bond buying program, which is due only in the third quarter of this year. More pressure on the euro comes from the pessimistic economic prospects due to the conflict in Ukraine and the political uncertainty in France. As for the British pound, it managed to close last week with a gain of 0.46%. Consumer prices in the UK have also reached the highest level in the past 30 years. Amid rapidly rising prices, the Bank of England has no other choice but to continue monetary tightening, and market participants seem to be more optimistic in this regard. It's expected that the UK regulator will hike the interest rate to 1% at its next meeting in May. In the crypto market, Bitcoin closed the session with a decline. Apparently, risk appetite is extremely low in the current circumstances, so the price of the digital coin slipped below the key level of $40,000 per token. Given the prospect of further rate hikes by the global central banks, Bitcoin is more likely to fall further in the near term. Meanwhile, oil keeps extending its rally. Thus, Brent crude went up to $113 per barrel on reports that the European Union is planning to gradually impose an embargo on oil imports from Russia. This step will allow Germany and other major consumers in the bloc to find alternative supply sources or explore new drilling options. According to Reuters, major global trading houses are also planning to reduce crude and fuel purchases from Russia's state-owned oil companies as early as this May. Traditionally, the value of gold is rising along with the risk aversion. Last week, the precious metal advanced to $1,978 per 3 ounce, and this was the second week of growth supported by geopolitical risks in Ukraine and increasing inflationary pressure. And that's all. You have watched a combined review on currency, cryptocurrency and commodity markets on InstaForex TV channel. We wish you profitable trading and waiting for you on our channel with a new video. See you soon.